Hey, welcome back in, guys. Brandon with Taylor's Fire Smoke Cooking. Today we're doing a pork butt or a pork shoulder, whatever you want to call it. We're just going to be making pulled pork. I'm going to be using my pellet grill today. Something real simple. I got an 8-pound butt here. This is real good for meal prep. When you're talking about a pork butt, you're talking about pulled pork sandwiches, tacos, nachos, burrito bowls. You can eat it straight like it is, breakfast skillets, breakfast hash, so many different things that you can do with a pork butt. So it's really good for meal prepping. Also, it freezes really well. So again, I have about an 8-pound butt here. We're just gonna keep it real simple: salt, pepper, garlic. Throw it on that pellet grill about 250, let it run, wrap it, throw it in the oven, get it done. And we're gonna eat off of this thing for some days, many different meals, and it's gonna be so good. So let's go ahead and get into this thing and I'll show you what we got. All right, guys, so here's our butt. Nice and beautiful butt here. A lot of people you watch online, they do barbecue and stuff like that. They try to do all this extra stuff to their pork butts. They'll score the fat cap, not necessary, or use all these expensive fancy rubs, not necessary. Salt, pepper, and garlic is all you really need. There's a lot of people say that you could taste all these different flavor profiles on the surface of the meat, and maybe on the surface you can, but once you really mix it up, it's really hard to distinguish what you're tasting after it's been smoking on the smoker for 8 to 10 hours or however long you cook it. So this salt, pepper, garlic is really all you need to keep it simple. And to be honestly, all you really need is salt and the smoke, and it'll still be good. But just kind of do what you want. I'm just saying you can save yourself a bunch of money by this using salt, pepper, and garlic. So you do want to season this bad boy liberally. I just salt the fat cap. I never use the garlic or the pepper on the fat cap. That's just me, because a lot of this fat cap is going to render down and we're going to peel it once we start pulling our meat. But I do put everything else on the meat side of the butt. Product and using a pellet grill smoking a pork butt, you really can't tell a huge difference. Now you can with ribs, you can with some chicken, but when you're smoking a pork butt, you really can't tell the difference. So we got it seasoned up nice and liberal. You can see that nice crust that's on there right now. We're just gonna let this sit for about 10-15 minutes. Then we're gonna go ahead and throw it on the smoker. See you guys back in a minute. All right, so what I like to do, I like to use an elevated rack. That way it prevents any part of this thing from burning. Sometimes the base here of this pellet grill gets really hot due to the hot pot. So I like to set it on the elevated rack here and just let it go. I'm also going to be using a smoke tube to help get some extra smoke in there. So I'm just going to place that bad boy right there. I'm going to set my smoke tube right over here, and we're just going to let this thing smoke at 250 until it gets to the color we want. Then we're going to wrap it and finish cooking. There's our smoke tube, if you're just wondering. Fill it up with we're using Jealous Devil pellets today. Just get a little extra concentrated smoke going on in there. And check on this pork butt. It's been 3 hours since we've had it on. See how it's got some really nice color starting to pick up on it. The smoke tube is doing its job. It smells amazing. Now, if you wanted to spritz, you could at this time. Spritzing is really not necessary when doing a pork butt. If you wanted to use like an apple juice or sugar-based spritz, you could, and it would help get with your color and your bark. But again, this is a super fail-proof method of making pork butt. Just let it go. When you wrap it, the juices will come out. All right, guys, we're 6 hours in, and it's looking amazing. So I've reached to the point where I'm going to pull ours and we're going to wrap it. Now, if you want it, you can continue to let this thing go. But I plan on having this for dinner tonight, so we're going to wrap it up, and I'm going to put it in the oven at 300 degrees and let it go until it becomes tender. It may be another couple hours before it's ready, but it's looking good. It's what you want. All right, so here's that butt before we go ahead and wrap it up, and I'm not going to add anything to this pan. I just went on and put it in a deep wall pan. If you don't have a pan like this is a pan that has some nice high walls on it. That way when it starts to produces juices and stuff, you don't lose any of them. But it's looking good. Smells even better. Wrap it up, let it go till it's done, till we're able to pull that bone. No thermometers are needed when you're doing a pork butt. Just cook it until it's tender. All right, guys, I just took it out of the oven. I've had it in there for about 2 hours. soon as we pull off the smoker, and I'm going to let you see it just with me. See how we're looking. Get this light on. Yes, sir. If you can see down there, you can see all that liquid it's already made on its own. That's why I say there's no need to add liquid to it. Hot. Super hot. But it's also ready. Bone's ready to pull out there. So I'm just going to let this thing rest up for a little while. Then I'm going to go ahead and pull it. Let you see what we got going on. But yeah. It's ready. So this is time to rest. All right, guys, so we're gonna go ahead on and pull this pork butt now. Get it out of this broth, and it's really falling apart already. Again, that's kind of what you want. Again, the bone comes out clean, so that lets you know it's done. Now, one thing I do like to do, you may not have one of these. This is a fat separator. You can get these off of Amazon, but they're really, really good because you want to keep those juices that comes off of that pork. Now, you may not want all the fat, but what this thing does, it'll separate the fat will rise to the top, and everything else is this good au jus that came from this pork. So you're going to want that to put back in there to reconstitute it. But I like to just use my hands to pull the pork. We just take it, go through it, and put it over in the pan. I like to use my hands because you get rid of all that, some of the nasty parts that might be inside the pork, to where if you're just using a blender or you're using bear claws, you may not get. So this is just kind of like what I like to do. You could do whatever you want. I don't like all the fat mixed in with my pork when I pull it. But if you do, then do you. So I'm just going to continue to pull the rest of this pork, have some pulled pork sandwiches tonight, and go from there. But you can see how it's nice and moist. Plenty of juice here. Pulls apart perfectly, tastes delicious. Can't beat it out again. Eat off of this for days. Good stuff. This is the type of stuff I don't want. You do have some good fat that hides up underneath that fat cap like that there. You want to make sure you get all that out of there. But other than that, just keep on peeling through it, cleaning it off, and you'll have some good, clean, delicious pulled pork. I'm going to keep pulling. All right, guys, so we've got all of our pork pulled. Just look at that. Man, that looks good. It smells so good. And then we're just going to take our liquid here, and it pours right out the bottom. That au jus that came off of that pork, and it's going to leave the fat behind. Just like that. Get a little bit more of a mix. And there you have it. Perfectly smoked and cooked pulled pork. This took us a total of about 8.5 hours total cook time, with about an hour of rest. Right off the pellet smoker. Smoke tube running, salt, pepper, garlic. Can't beat it out. Gonna have some good old sandwiches tonight, guys. All right, guys, getting these sandwiches put together. I've got some Carolina Gold barbecue sauce. I like to add in some spicy banana peppers, sometimes pickles, sometimes onion. Do what you like, but this is the way we're having them tonight. Don't that look good right there? About time to dig in. All right, guys, so I might as well go ahead and let you guys see what we had going on. I just put some Carolina Gold mustard barbecue sauce, just a little bit on my pulled pork. I like mine with banana peppers. If I sometimes pickle and onion, but we're going with hot banana peppers today. Amen. Right on the money, y'all. Right on the money. So I'm using low carb buns, sugar-free barbecue sauce. The pork got a side of low carb chips, low calorie, low carb, fire pulled pork. Hope you guys enjoyed. Till the next time, God bless.